Hi guys, and welcome to another uncut, unedited video. You know, I was just thinking a little bit about the story about blind Bartimaeus that we all see in Mark chapter 10. And we see how Jesus passes him by and how a man who's in a desperate state cries out with a sheer determination to get the attention of Jesus. And then we see that when Jesus actually stops after he's been told to be quiet and everything, he throws away the cloak that identifies him. And the people bring him to Jesus. And then Jesus, he stands in front of this man, Jesus, who's been known to open the eyes of the blind and who's been known to heal people. And then Jesus says to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And Bartimaeus doesn't need to think twice. He says, "I want to receive my sight." And that's the very point I want to stop at right this moment and just encourage you for 2 minutes. You know, when Bartimaeus cried out with the determination against all odds in that day, he was able to cry out through a crowd and Jesus heard his voice. And I want to encourage you today, no matter what the world is throwing at you, no matter what your circumstances are, with a determined spirit, continue to cry out to Jesus. You see, the cry and the determination of Bartimaeus met the ear of faith, which was Jesus. And Jesus stopped and he said, "Bring him to me." And as he came and he threw away his cloak, which was his identification. And maybe you and I sometimes need to throw off our identification. What is that thing that's holding us back that we identify with that is not from God? Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's disappointment. Maybe it's anger. I don't know what that cloak is that sometimes holds us back from getting into the presence of God. But the moment Bartimaeus recognized that this was his moment to have his time with God, he lost his own identity and stepped into the very presence of God, taking on the identity of Jesus. And if you and I will throw off that identity of who and what we are and what is holding us back and step into that presence and not identify with our issues, but identify with Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, He who is able to do more than above we could even ask and imagine, and identify in God's presence with Him. And then the next interesting thing was when he said, "Lord, I want to receive my sight." Jesus said to him, "Your faith has made you well." Now, his miracle was amazing because his miracle did something in the natural for him, supernaturally, but it also did something for Bartimaeus in his entire life. His life changed from that moment on that he was touched. And interesting enough, everybody else saw that miracle. So I want to encourage you, when Jesus touches your heart, wherever you might be and whatever it might be, are others seeing that you've been with Jesus? Are you talking about the miracles that God has done? Are you talking about the goodness of God? Are you talking about the faithfulness of God? Are you talking about identifying with Him and His power and His presence? Let's not allow the identification cloak to hold us back from the presence of God. And so I just wanted to encourage you today, become like Bartimaeus, become determined, become fully determined that you're going to reach out to God and let your cry of real intensity from your spirit, let it reach the ear of Jesus and come into the presence of God, throwing off your identity and allow that which Christ is going to do for you, a supernatural miracle, physical, that people can see, and or spiritual, because that was a new start in the life of Bartimaeus. Once I was blind, but now I can see. And what is the new things that God is taking us onto? What are the new things where God is bringing us into? Once I was blind, but now I can see. So be encouraged and let's get into the presence of God and identify with His presence. God bless you until next time.